name of the warrior, I charge you to be brave.
Your Grace, I am your man.
In the name of the Father, I charge you to be
Please, your man.
In the name of the Mother, I charge you to protect the young and innocent.
I need good men, Sir Duncan.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Westeros. And we are here to witness the trial of the Seven at Ashford. This is A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode number 5. Justin, how you doing?
I'm still speechless. So you guys might not hear much from me this episode, because ever since I watched that episode, I've just been speechless.
Yeah, so this is this is one of those things, like I think back to the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones, because those of us who had read the books, we knew it was coming, and we were just kind of sitting around waiting for everybody to get on the same page as us. And this is a kind of similar circumstance. We knew, if you read the novella, what was going to happen to Baelor, and I got to tell you, it was pretty close to word for word dialogue at the end there.
Oh my God. See, I need to start reading the books, because I was not expecting that. I'm gonna say that, but I've been watching Game of Thrones for almost 10 years now, and I come to realize when things are going too well or too good, or it seems like a happy ending, just know that a crazy twist is about to happen, and it's usually going to be like the total opposite of the pleasant.
Yeah,
but even despite all that
second to last episode of a season thing is always gonna have a gut punch.
Always. And what a gut punch it was. It really got me? I thought early in the episode, and I know we're going to talk about it, when that first gut punch happened, I said, well, maybe this is the gut punch right here. But nope, I was very wrong. I thought we made it to the finish line, but of course, a few steps from there, that second gut punch came, and it really hit. Oh man.
All right, so obviously we're gonna be talking about this episode, and there's gonna be
You're spoiling everything.
Yeah, plenty of spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, what are you even doing here? Go watch it and then come back.
Please do.
Because we're definitely going to talk about it. So we are at the beginning of the trial of 7. We've got our 14 guys lined up in the field, ready to go. And I like the fact that they did it. I like the fact that they kept really tight to Dunk's point of view.
Yes.
There's all this stuff going on, and you hear noises, and you hear people talking, and you hear the fighting going on, but you don't really, you're just in this. And, it's time to remember that Dunk is not he's not a very well-trained knight. He's not like these lords who spent their whole young life training and squiring and going to tournaments and learning how things happen.
Yep.
And he's just trying to make it work. And I don't think he was ready in any sense for what it's actually like to be in one of these fights. And, especially in something like this that hasn't happened in over 100 years, this type of fight. What do you think?
No, I think you hit it on the nail. I think he's a big guy, tall guy, has a lot of strength. We've seen that in the previous episode where he beat the mess out of Aeron Targaryen and whatnot. But this is a very first for him. You could definitely see he was full of nerves, hence that that little throw up scene he had. Lacks experience and whatnot. And I think when he first got stabbed, like when the start of it, I think that was a real reality check for him. And I think in his mindset, he says, oh my God, what did I get myself into? I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to die. And I feel like that's probably something that a lot of people who have no experience, something that probably be going through their minds often if they're placed in a situation like that. I know for one, that'd be the thoughts I'll be thinking.
Yeah, and one of the things that may have flown by is that they mentioned at the beginning that they were using war lances. They weren't using jousting lances. So jousting lances, the ones they use on the lists or in tourneys, they're designed to splinter when they hit. These are war
Ah,
lances, which are designed to, impale
Pierce.
people. And
There you go.
and so that was easy to kind of go by. But Arion did the same thing that he did with Humphrey Beesbury, and he aimed his lance low, and instead of hitting Dunk's shield, he hit Dunk's stomach basically.
Yeah.
And so Dunk gets unhorsed immediately, and he's got. I got to tell you, man, this guy's took a beating.
He can take a beating for real.
He got lanced, he got stabbed, he got cut.
What was that? What you call it with the spike
Beat
ball?
in the head, and he still keeps coming back for more. He
He
got
was getting
concussed.
up. I was like, well, I wanted this some type of plot armor. Say that, but despite all that, I have to really give him a lot of credit because if it was me, after that first initial hit, I would have stayed down and acted dead until until the thing was done.
Well, that was Daron, who was probably his first hit, and he probably was
Oh, he
playing
said, oh, he
dead
said it.
somewhere.
He said, I'm gonna take a dive.
So we find out that the two Humphreys, Beesbury and uh, Harding, were killed in the first joust, and
Yes.
we know that Baylor was kind of going after the Kingsguard because the Kingsguard would not be able to fight him back,
Yes.
and Sir Robin Reisling, had a little bit of a question about that.
What of the King's Guard?
Take heart, Beesbury. I will handle the King's Guard. Their oath forbids them to harm a Prince of the Blood.
Is that honourable, Your Grace?
The gods will let us know.
So we see everything. I think Sir Raymond, he acquitted himself fairly well. He didn't die, and that's.
I was worried about it. I thought, and you said that in the last episode. You said, I think he's gonna do well. I was like, well, okay, well, we'll have to see. But I'm glad you shared that. I was able to not stress out about my boy because I like him. He's cool peoples.
Yeah, he's cool people. And then we have so Sir Dunk gets, in the middle of this whole thing, we wind up with this, CTE induced flashback, and we go back to Dunk as a young man in Flea Bottom, and him and his friend Rafe are going around stealing stuff, and there's a third one, right? Punky or whatever his name was, and they're, causing a little bit of ruckus, and they get put upon by a couple of guys, and I guess we see kind of his origin story as to how he becomes, Dunk, and how he comes to be in the service of Sir Arlen. I mean, what'd you think about that whole thing?
First of all, I thought it was phenomenal. I thought the Flash. I was a little bit worried because I'm all about the action. I like the action of it, but for them, like you said, this is also in the books. I thought the flashback was just a marvelous way just to show, like you said, the origin of Dunk's story, his past, and what brought him to it. And even showed tragedy about how the tragedy even of his past has shaped him to who he is. Today. And I think you said her name was what's her name?
Rafe.
Rafe. Y'all forgive me on this. Rafe, I thought she's an amazing character. Definitely a character that's really shaped Dunk to who he was. The actress that played her, I'm telling you, these kids actors, they can act their butts off. Like she had me invested in every scene that she was truly in. You could tell That was her family, and Doug was definitely Wade was definitely Doug's family, definitely, you know, and he was willing to do anything for her. And but Mike, Mike, that's all I can say, Mike. Tragedy in true Game of Thrones fashion. They don't skip a beat at all. They'll show you at full throttle.
Yeah. And, so one of the interesting things um, is that in the books, like the flashback wasn't, as I remember, it wasn't like during the battle. It was just, there was interspersed with him thinking back about about his childhood and,
Right.
it mentions Rafe,
Oh, so they pressed
but
her out?
but it doesn't. Well, here's the thing: is that it doesn't specify like if Rafe is a young man or a young lady, but you
Oh.
kind of like the inference is that it's another boy.
Oh.
So this is an invention of the show, one of the very few that they've had. Like this show is like how you do a faithful adaptation,
I
and
agree.
and this is one place where they really did deviate in, defining Rafe as a young lady and making her like sort of a love interest
Love interest.
for Dunk. And I mean, if you look at Rafe and you look at Tanzel, I mean, Dunk's got a type,
Oh,
and
look at it. I promise you. I said, should I say it? Should I not? But you said it already. He certainly has a type. He likes a little caramel swirl in his coffee. I ain't mad at him. I ain't mad at him. That's what he likes. That's what he likes. You know.
And the actress who plays Rafe, Chloe Leah,
Yes.
she's been in a couple of pretty good things, kind of
Really?
sci-fi fantasy. Yeah, she was in.
She's very young.
She's very young. She's in Foundation, on Apple, which is a great sci-fi show. She was in Dune Prophecy on HBO last year. So yeah, she's got a very up and coming kind of resume going. So we look forward to seeing her obviously in another project because she's done here. But and so when they first started to go back to it, like I was kind of like, really, we're doing this, but like you said, it was done superbly. It was done so well.
Stuff well.
Just the shock of what happens, of Alistair killing Rafe, but then Sir Arlen coming out of the
perfect
pub
timing,
and doing the chivalrous thing, protecting the young and the innocent, as the oath is called.
I said perfect time. He was a little late. He should have came out there a few minutes early.
Maybe, 10 seconds earlier. Maybe don't take your last sip, Sir Erlen. But
right. But still, it was a phenomenal scene. I mean, it was raw. Emotion.
And I really thought, but what the really poignant thing to me was when him and Rafe are having this conversation about going to the Free Cities. And he's like, obviously he's like hesitant because he's got this fantasy about his mother coming, and she's trying to talk him out of it. And then he's like,
reality check.
Yeah, and then he's like, but what if it's no better than this? What if this is the best that it is?
Yeah, and this flea bottom.
Yeah, and he's like, what if the world's no better than this?
What if the cities are no better than here? What if they're worse?
Then we'll go someplace else.
What if this is the best there is?
That would be quite sad.
And then she's like that, but I thought it was a very poignant question for a young man like that.
Oh, yeah. Like, why take that risk?
Right. And, so we see that gives us a little something about Dunk's personality, but then obviously he goes and follows Sir Arlen.
Oh, yeah, that was funny, too. Not funny, but...
Yeah.
I like, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of funny because Sir Alan was so drunk for 3 days he didn't even notice this kid following him.
Now he knows. I mean, he knows he stabbed himself too. I'm like, this dude is wow.
Yeah.
And well, take out the drunk part, but it was definitely kind of like a parallel to how Dunk was with what Egg was with Dunk. So
Right.
Dunk's following Sir Arlen, but in the parallel, you see Egg following Dunk.
Exactly.
And I noticed that, and I thought that was really cool. Just the parallels they have right in that regards. It's like just like how Egg was Dunk at one point. He wanted to be a knight. He wanted to be a squire. He wanted to know all about that. And he's a kid.
Yeah. You got to wonder if some point if that like informs Dunk's decision to take Egg on early on, is that he comes to realize like this is how I came to do it. So
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just paying it forward because he is an honorable man and he is
Very
a good man, but he does finally defeat Aaron and I mean go for Egg, man. That get up, sir. Get up, sir.
Get up, sir.
Get up. Get up. And that scream, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get up! Get up! Get up, Sir Duncan! Get up, sir! Get up!
Get up.
I hope he took some lozenges and a little tea and honey. Because that was a little rough on his little tender vocal cords there.
Yeah.
But it was effective.
Very effective. It stopped that little horn from blowing. And the show went on. He did phenomenal. And I was worried. I thought he was going to kill Arion too. That second bout.
Yeah.
Felt like a little bit like Jon Snow and Ramsay Snow.
It was very much along those lines.
Yeah, I feel it was so interesting. As I was watching it, I was getting a little bit of hints of and it helped me to remember the other shows. Definitely a little bit of Falcon and Winter Soldier, where he took the shield and he started banging him on that.
Yep.
What was some other we'll talk about it soon. But definitely got some vibes of Breaking Bad. Definitely some Breaking Bad vibes in this episode.
Yeah.
And,
it's just yeah. And there was also, I know you don't watch it, but there was an episode of Landman this season that had a very similar vibe as well.
Ooh,
and
yeah, man, yeah.
So yeah, that idea of like I'm this close to beating you to death, but I'm going to hold back,
which is very honorable once more,
right?
Because I think it was so cool. Like at one part, you could definitely kill him, but the fact that he has to be alive and live with the fact that he suffered defeat.
Right.
And this is all he's doing.
Killing him would have the same effect.
You think so?
Well, legally it would have the same effect, right? If he
legally.
If Dunk defeats Arion, then the gods have determined that his cause is just. But I think from a satisfaction point of view,
there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Getting Aaron to admit his defeat and to withdraw his claim.
He literally dragged him through the mud.
Which is already a meme, by the way.
You got to be kidding me. I love that.
It's everywhere.
It is. Let me get on Twitter after this episode, after our podcast, because I can't believe they made this into a meme, and I have yet to see it. Oh man!
Yeah, yes, it's one of those meme templates that is like everything.
Like me dragging myself to work, I don't want to go, something like that.
Like it was like I saw one just a little while ago. It was like my mom showing me that thing. My mom finding that thing I said I couldn't find or something.
I love that. Oh man, I'll tell you, that's what I love the memes that comes from these shows. People, they're so gifted and talented. They didn't waste no time with that. That's funny. But yeah, he got him to yield.
Yeah, there's a lot of my car memes too.
Who's my car?
My car being looking disgusted at everything.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. He sure does.
But I mean, speaking of Morcar, I guess.
Is he king? Or he's next in line now.
Well, so
Oop. Oh, let me not get ahead of
yeah,
myself. I'm sorry.
yeah. Let's not. He will. Well, I mean, it's if you watch Game of Thrones, it's already out there, right?
True.
Because Aemon told us that yes, he will become king. This fourth son will become king. We won't talk about what happens to the other sons because Baelor's the oldest, Mykar's the youngest, and there's two in the middle.
Yeah.
And then the same thing happens with Mykar. Mykar's got four sons. Egg
He
is
sure
the
does.
youngest. So we know about Aemon. We know
Well,
who
what's
all
gonna
four of
happen to
them
Darren?
are, right? But we don't know what's going to happen to them.
And that prophecy that happened, I think, 2 episodes ago, where the fortune
Yep.
teller told Egg that he will be king, but he will not be liked upon. Ooh.
Right. He'll die in fire and
Mm-hmm.
his body will lay in the ashes
No, I think they rejoiced at the fact. I'm sorry.
and
Was it like
all
that?
who know him will rejoice. Yeah.
But I think that we can't take that with the oh yeah. Interesting. But man, I remember I remember texting you because I don't know for this series I don't watch it like exactly where it premieres. Like I used to do that with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Like Sunday nights, I'm watching once it hits like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock when it premieres. But this
Right.
show I've been on a little bit of delay. And, no particular reason. I'm just not in a rush to watch it. But I do like texting you and asking you like give me a heads up. Are we? And you always see someone from me just to let me know. And these last 2 episodes have been nothing but masterpieces, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken.
You're definitely not wrong.
And this was what's so crazy. Like, I want this, and like how this episode was. I need more of that for House of the Dragon. I'm really hoping that season 3 will bring more of these type of episodes that we've been getting for A Night of the Seven Kingdom, because right now, I'm not trying to bring this is because I don't want to take the focus away from Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but it's kind of dry over in House of Dragonland. But the Night of the Seven Kingdom, whew, it started off as a little fire, but it's been picking up nonstop since then. I don't expect the next episode, which is the final episode, to be as great as the last 2-3 episodes were. But I still expect it to be a good episode. I think we're going to see some type of solution or any of this chapter of it. But these episodes, man, has been phenomenal. And the fact I have to give them props because, and I don't want, I want to be careful saying this because I prefer like hour-long episodes, but they've been doing this within like a 30 to 37 minute time span. They were able to, in this episode, put 2 stories into one and hit it on the nail for each one within 37 minutes.
Right. Yeah. The fact that they did all of this in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's times where you feel like you're wanting more, but I thought this episode was really the right amount of time. It didn't drag anything out.
I agree.
You got the tension of the fight and the episode. You got the time for the flashback. And then you have, let's talk about that ending.
Oh, do we have to?
We have to.
I just cried my last tears, man.
It's the most. It's maybe the most significant.
All right.
Death in. I mean, just to think about what may have been had Baelor been king. But the way it was done, when he comes in and, Raymond and Steely Pate are pulling the armor off of Dunk, and he's got all these, he's got the lance in him, he's got a knife wound, he's got a sword wound in the back, he's got, his eyes shut and all this stuff like that, and the fact that Baylor comes into the tent to check on him.
That speaks volumes.
And that he's like, because Pate was going to pour oil on his wounds. He's like, no, not oil. It'll, wine. That's what the maesters do. And I'll send my maester. The fact that he's caring about, and you got to think that he knows that he's been seriously wounded.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, half his skull's gone. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And he didn't notice it. He didn't notice it. You know what it is? It's that adrenaline rush. You know what I mean? He gets off.
Well, I think that's a lot of it. I definitely think that's a lot of it. And but you also got to remember, like, he did say it, right? I mean, he was like, if you listen to him, like, I watched it back a little while ago, a couple of minutes ago, he's like,
wait, you actually rewatched that scene?
I rewatched it, but yeah, waiting for you. So it was like, he kept like repeating himself. I don't know if you noticed that, but he would like repeat words. He'd be like, my visor's cracked, and just like things like that. And then he said, and then when he says that, my fingers feel like wood.
Wood, yep. That's why I knew something. I said, oh boy. That's why I knew immediately. And I was honestly, I'm not a fortune teller, but I said they're gonna find something on him. I said, as they're taking this stuff off, I said, watch their facial expressions. And sure enough, I was like, oh man, that's why I said it reminded me of spoilers for Breaking Bad, of that Breaking Bad scene with Gus Fring. I'm like, this is gonna remind me of just he's gonna have half of a head. And sure enough, they did that side thing, and that's when I started crying. I was finished crying over Wave. Now I'm crying over my sweet prince, like you said, Baylor.
Yeah.
And I knew something was also happening too, when he says, when Dougie says, I can be your knight, I can protect you, all this stuff. And he says, I need people like you. I said, this is going too good to be true. Stuff like this in Game of Thrones does not happen. It reminded me of Oberyn and Martell. And that's why I sent you that joke. I said, listen, is this a theme with the Martells? Is this a Martell theme? That these guys, they're willing to put their lives on the line, and things are going so well for them, and then immediately it's like ripping a Band-Aid off of you. It just goes to hell, because that's exactly what happened with Oberyn. You know what I mean? You think he's about to take out the mountain, and then the mountain does what the mountain does, and now we see with Baylor.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying this now, because Baylor
for those of you who don't really make the connection to what Justin's saying, Baylor's mother is Mariah Martell, and so his father. This is how Dorne got brought into the Seven Kingdoms, because at the time of like House of the Dragon, Dorne was set apart. Yeah. It was 6 kingdoms and Dorne, and there was 2 marriages, and this is one of them. King Daeron II married Mariah Martell, and that is Baelor's mother.
Yes.
And so he has, like, they all have Martell blood, which is why, he's like dark complexion, dark skin, dark hair, and his brother is that white complexion with the white hair, the more classic Targaryen appearance.
Wait, are they half brothers or full brothers?
I think they're full brothers.
Okay, it's just like a flip of the coin with genetics then. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
They're just strong boys, Mike.
Yeah,
he's a strong prince.
Strong prince. But what you were saying, like when Dunk, comes to him, is like, I'm your man.
Yeah.
I'm your man. And he's like, I need good men. The realm. He starts to say the realm needs good men, but then he stops. He just says the realm, and then he stops. And that's one of the things. Like, he loses his train of thought.
That's because he lost half of.
It's not funny. Because his brain is leaking down his neck, and then
I tell you though.
Go ahead,
Mike. I don't know how you reacted, but I agreed. I really did. I was just like, oh. I broke the number one rule. Like, you're not supposed to get attached to people. You're not supposed to get attached to people over these shows. And sure enough, he was such a good guy, man. A good character throughout, and he proved himself to be like that. And they never reward good characters. I have to remind myself, whether you be a Ned Stark or a Baelor Targaryen, if you have a heart of good, I don't see you having a long life. So it makes me a little bit worried about Dunk, but we'll find out. I mean, they said there's gonna be multiple seasons, so I think he's gonna be good for a
Right.
few years.
Yeah, I mean, some good people, you know, live health, long healthy lives, but Dunk may face tragedy at some point.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
but yeah, so we have, they take his helmet off, and that was a gruesome shot. I mean, when he turns
Oh,
around and you could see his skull crushed in, and it was very descriptive in the book. Again, from Dunk's point of view, where it's like, he could see his, he said, like, it says, like, when the helmet came off, he saw something fall out, and
oh God.
then he looked and he could see, like, hair and crushed bone, and it's like something gray. He didn't know what it was.
Oh, gray matter. Oh my
you
gosh.
know um so yeah, obviously, it was a really terrible wound, and now we're going to have to deal with the fact that Mykar killed his brother. And
Wait,
there will
what?
be, well, it was Mykar who killed him.
What?
He even said it, when Pate said, it's all smashed into the gorget. And he said, my brother's mace, no doubt. He's very strong.
Oh my gosh.
And
I
and
didn't
there
catch
was
that.
there was a shot where you did see it, where the two of them were fighting, and Mykar, like, backhanded him with the mace on the side of the helmet. So
Why would he do that?
he didn't do. And the question, one of these unanswered questions, like, is Dunk really a knight, is, did Mykar do it intentionally? He's going to claim that he didn't, and maybe he didn't. But
Oh man, Mike.
he clearly, and at this point, does he really have anything to gain? Because, like I said, there's other brothers. So
Well, that's one brother down.
there was a
He's
scene
one less
there
brother.
was a scene in Game of Thrones, another scene where Aemond is talking about his father, and he talked about, my father said killing his brother, like, he never wanted the throne, and it was his punishment for killing his brother.
Ooh. Interesting. I'm actually rewatching Game of Thrones, and I'm having a great time, by the way, rewatching it. So I'm gonna be on the lookout. So every time I see Master Aemon, my ears pick up for everything he does say, because after watching this show, I want to put the connection. So that's interesting. And another little takeaway I'm thinking about it. Now that I know that this Michael killed the brother, I'm thinking now the Lion King with Scar with Mufasa, Long Live the King, and it's a lot of
Yeah,
parallels.
that's true.
But man, that really did a number on me. And like I said, I broke the rule. I got attached, and that's the consequence. You really, and like, I've been a little bit depressed, honestly. Like, so weird, depressed after watching the show, which I kind of like, because that's how a show's really good, when they really get you emotionally. That's how it is, and I'm just like, oh man. I haven't felt like this ever since House of the Dragon with Luke's
Yep. Yep.
demise. It's just like these Targaryens, man, killing each other, yo. Whether it be a mistake or intention, I'm just like, oh, like, can you really? Either it's so funny because either you're really in love with the Targaryens, are really in love with each other because they can they can marry within each other,
Right.
but you see a lot of them killing each other
Yep.
all throughout all these three series.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
No, absolutely.
So that's such crazy parallels with that. I'm just, oh man, like forget family. Like I would not, Mike. I don't know about you, but I would never want to go to a Targaryen Thanksgiving.
Nope. And don't go to a wedding.
Definitely no weddings. Certainly no weddings. Especially they not the colors.
Oh. All right. So, I mean, you got anything else on this, or I think we've covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I just like as I mentioned before, top-notch episode. I think definitely the best episode of the series thus far. Best episode, I think, like one of the best episodes in the whole Game of Thrones lore. I think that's something that people are gonna be talking about throughout this week and leading up to the season finale on Sunday. I did see some of the previews on there, so that's gonna be interesting. But I don't know if I can really watch that episode again. But that doesn't change the fact of it being a masterpiece in my eyes.
Absolutely. And I imagine that at some point in a couple weeks or maybe over the summer, I'll just sit down on a Sunday and just watch the whole thing because it's only like 3 hours. So.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. It's like a little movie.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that is it. We will be back next week to talk about the finale and wrap it up. And Justin, I will talk to you next week.
Aye, sir.